I'll just check her hips to make sure that they're not, there's not the potential for dislocation. And basically you just need to flex the leg on the thigh and abduct both the hips so that the knees touch the side of the examining table. When you do that, when you take them through 90-degree arch towards abduction, you will always feel the head of the femur going back into the acetabulum if it's out. And there was no indication of any slippery feeling. I didn't hear any clicky noises as I made that manoeuvre. If in fact the femur did come back in at this point, what happens to test it and see if you can pull it out again, you pull the baby's femur in an upward direction and you would feel it coming out again. It's best to do this while you're supporting the pelvic girdle with your other hand. So I'm supporting the right side of the pelvic girdle while I pull Catherine's femur up and down in an effort to try and move it. I'll just do it with the other side, support the pelvic girdle on the left side and just pull the femur up and down, and it seems pretty rock solid to me. There's no anything that's moved. Thank you, Kathleen. So she's been such a good little baby, Debbie, and there doesn't appear to be anything wrong at all. She's got no problems with her head, her neck, her chest, the heart and lungs sound fine, her spine's fine, all her limb movements are fine, the degree of flexion is as you would expect, so she gets a 10 out of 10. If you like, we'll just see if she has some of the primitive reflexes. One she'll probably tolerate before she gets her feed, but we'll try and see if we can get her to do the placing reflex by putting the anterior part of the foot on this table, and she should then respond by lifting it up, and then we'll see if she takes a walk after that. Okay, Kathleen, I'll just put her left leg touching, and she lifted it up, and we'll just put her right leg and she lifted it up. Now she might even go for a little walk for us, but always when you put the sole of the foot on the surface, she should now commence to walk. You're having a little think about that, aren't you? You're not going to do that? Well, she did a good placing reflex. Alright, that's right. Now you can do a little walk. Okay. Thank you. And another one. And another one. It's always a good idea to check out some of those reflexes, even though she exhibited a good grasp reflex and she's got a Babinski reflex, which means that the nerve pathway is intact. You often find an exaggerated placing reflex or crossed legs when they try and walk with cerebral palsy, and so it's a good idea just to reassure yourself that there's no evidence of any hypoxia during the pregnancy or the labour. She seems fine. Thank you, Kathleen, and thanks very much, Debbie, for loaning her for this examination. Kathleen's due for her sampling of blood for the newborn screen test today, and of course no examination is complete without finding out if there's any inclusions in the baby's blood that may be harmful to it. In New South Wales, the newborn program tests the blood for phenylalanine levels and for thyroxine levels, galactose levels and pancreatic enzymes, looking for evidence of hypothyroidism, galactosemia, phenylketonuria and cystic fibrosis. So there is a baby-friendly way to carry out this examination. Gone are the days when babies are held in their cots and left screen while the blood is taken. If the baby gets established on the breast and is totally relaxed and both her limbs are dependent, then there's a good venous supply of blood already collecting in the lower part of her limbs. I'll just massage Kathleen's ankles and feet for a moment or two and then get the blood from her. I've already filled out the blotting paper record card in which the blood will be collected and sent to the screening laboratory. So Debbie has checked this over and agrees with the data that's on it, and so we'll proceed to get the blood in a moment. Just massaging her for a little while, Deb, just to make sure there is a good collection there. And I'll tell you what, I'm just going to stab her. This is great in as much as it gets her used to me handling her anyway, and she'll probably just give a little and then go back to sucking. Despite her ordeal, the foot doesn't feel too bad actually. Okay, use the other hand. The site for taking the blood is the outer or the lateral border of the heel, and you must be careful not to penetrate over the os calcis at the back of the heel. I'm just going to prick her now, Debbie. Okay. It's probably better if 2 sharp pricks are made close to each other. And Kathleen just murmur for a moment, and then she'll go back to her sucking. And already we have a nice flow of blood. And it's ideal to make sure that you get one of the circles filled first before proceeding to the next one. The blood needs to come through to the back of the card to have enough sampling. This was done to you, Thomas, when you were a little baby too. Come around here, darling.
Go around the other side. That's the boy. Go there and you can just
Can you see what's happening there, Thomas? We're going to collect some of Kathleen's blood on this card, and then it's going to go to the laboratory, and the scientists there will be able to see if there's anything in her blood that might make her sick. You didn't have anything in your blood. You're a very healthy baby. And I'm sure Kathleen is a very healthy baby girl. Does she look good to you? As you can see, this is much kinder than having a baby screaming and then having to prick it again and warm its foot up and go through all of the unnecessary trauma that the babies are put through sometimes. I've got enough blood there. It's not a very big sample, but there's plenty of it. I'll just get one more, Debbie, and then we'll put a little band-aid on.
She did well, actually.
Yes, darling.
How did she get having the food?
Yeah, because I'm just massaging it so that the blood comes down there. And I think we've got enough now. You happy with that?
That looks
pretty
great,
good. Okay, we'll let that air dry for a while, and I'm just going to put this little kind of a band-aid over Kathleen's foot just to make sure that she doesn't bleed all over her bedclothes. She'll look like a real warrior now, won't she? Would you like one on your finger?
No.
The pirates sometimes have one on their finger.
Not having
I'll just put another one on their finger just so it doesn't get on her clothes.
Okay.
There you are. She can pull that down and then you'd never know she had anything done. You give that to Dad and see if he can put one on your finger for you.
I put one on my finger myself.
Alright, okay. Show Dad what you're doing there. And that's it. We've got baby Kathleen's blood. We've got the collection paper labelled correctly with her name and her family name and her mother's name, the date of birth, her birth weight and her sex is there and the date of the sample. She's been breastfed since birth, so that gives her a chance to have enough phenylalanine levels or galactose levels to be seen that could be dangerous to her. And hopefully we'll get a report back in a few days to say they've received it and there's no problems, Debbie.
Yeah.
I'll just let that air dry for a little while and get it off in the post, and that's it. Thanks very much for loaning me Kathleen for the day, Debbie. She was a great little client and subject, so thanks very much, and thank you too, Steve. That was so nice to be part of your baby's birth and your baby's first examination.